So, Gill, can you tell us all actually rather, about your Christian journey, give us a bit of your testimony?
Yeah, when I was writing it just before the meeting started because I kind of need to have it written. It's short, but it's kind of like includes my call to preach in it as well. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. That's brilliant.
Yeah, okay. So I've always attended church from being a small child. When we moved into Cumberbatch, which is where I grew up, we went to the Methodist church. I've always believed in God. I've always held firm in that belief, to the point where I went off to university and I studied theology and religious studies because I was interested in learning the background behind the faith as well as everything else. So I've always had that background interest. I've always been involved in church. I went to Sunday school from being a young child, and then when I got a little bit older, I started helping at church with Sunday school. So yeah, I've always been involved in Sunday school, and when I got a little bit older, I started teaching at Sunday school and went off to university, but still came back to help at Sunday school and do stuff like that. And just I've always believed. My first call to preach came a number of years ago. I was sat in church. I should have been in Sunday school, but there was no children. And it was the Bible reading, and I just heard stop teaching and start preaching as part of that reading. And I've searched high and low throughout the Bible for a passage that says those words, and there isn't.
Of course not, but you've heard it.
Trying to find some kind of rationality behind what I heard and so on. But I thought I knew better than God, so I ignored that because I thought He couldn't possibly be telling me to go into preaching because I teach. Fast forward to quite a few years later, the 25th of March 2018, because I went back to see when I emailed Tim about it, I was listening to Tim preach, and there was a similar kind of message about ministry and following God's word. I can't remember it exactly, but it really hit home, and I sent him an email. And I met with Tim, and I tried to deny any kind of call to preach in that, and that it was something completely different and that God didn't want me to preach at all. But somebody helped him see straight through me, and I pursued that call. I've struggled with a lot of health issues prior to pursuing my call to preach, and since actively pursuing them, it's made a massive difference on some of those health issues. And I know why. It's because I'm actually doing what God's asked me to do as opposed to doing what I want to do. I firmly believe in a loving God who knows what's right for us even when we might think differently, and has many ways of getting us to do what He wants us to do, even if it's not something we want to do. I don't know if that answers the question.
It does. It's really interesting. You say a number of us will echo that sense of denying the call. I'm not good enough. You can't possibly be me, meaning me. I certainly went through that. I certainly had the feeling that perhaps I ought to be doing something else and wanted to do something else. But eventually you have to listen to what God says to you, don't you?
Yes.
And I understand that.